start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, if you are in for some great fun and great music and a great tribute to Frank Sinatra, it is coming your way on Saturday, March 29th. And the people that you see right there are sitting right here. We have Pete Jacobs, and that's your big band there. And of course, we have Matt Mauser. Did I pronounce that right?
Mauser, yeah.
And as doing the Frank Sinatra tribute, and I'm looking here, and really, it's quite deceiving, because if I looked up really quickly, I would think it would be a young Frank, and you got the whole, even your big band, the way you have it set up there is just classic. You know, it's everything's there. Welcome back, and I say that because these gentlemen were on a little over a year ago or so, and was that your first year that you were doing the Frank Sinatra last year?
Yes, we just started about a year and a half ago, and this was actually our first big show, and since then we've had quite a few shows, and kind of the thing's taken off, and we've had a great year.
Yeah,
it's been awesome. But this was kind of the catalyst to get the whole thing started. It was awesome.
You do rock and roll music as well, as we talked about. You're in a local band. And what made you do Frank Sinatra? What was the catalyst behind that?
Well, when I was in the rock and roll band, we'd do a lot of weddings, and so we'd have to do kind of a dinner set. And in the dinner set, we learned all the standards, the Frank Sinatra stuff. And people would say, "God, you're really good at the Frank Sinatra stuff. You can really pull that off. In fact, I think that's what you're best at." And so, you know, after about 10 years of playing the rock and roll band, doing those kind of shows, and I met Pete through our guitar player, who Pete's a big band leader, and our guitar player was playing in his big band. And I just approached him. I said, "Hey, all these tribute bands are coming up, but I don't think anybody's done a really good Sinatra tribute. Would you be interested in doing it?" And Pete just said, "Let's do it." So we put it together. He wrote all the charts out and put the music together, and I put together the entertainment part, and it's kind of worked out.
I never know where he's going to go. It's like we're in the middle of a show, and you know, I've got all the songs all arranged in order, and all of a sudden he goes off on something. It's fun trying to keep up with him.
You have to follow. Now, you've done big bands for quite a while, though, right?
Yeah, I've always loved big band. It's been just a passion of mine ever since high school, really. I've enjoyed it. I mean, I grew up on Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles and stuff, but I love big band music. I love Benny Goodman, Artie Shaw, Glenn Miller, and that. So when I had the opportunity to put this band together, you know, I just sort of went for it, and it's been very successful.
You know, we've seen big bands really grow in popularity. I remember years ago, of course, at Disneyland, they had the big band music and all that. And then it kind of faded away for a while. They still played it there. Recently, they changed that venue. However, the biggest audience they were getting before they changed that venue were younger people.
Yes.
And
we played there over 75 times.
Yeah, and you'd see them, you know, a lot of them were teenagers, all dressed up in the era that was appropriate. And that music, the swing music, big band music, has really kind of come back.
And it stayed back. I mean, the big band era was only about 9-10 years, really.
You should have brought the hat, but I'm sorry. I just had to comment on that. Yeah, they've come back,
and it's a classic now. I mean, everybody wants this at their weddings and stuff, and
I think the thing about the big bands and the Sinatra thing is it's just cool.
Yeah,
you know, it's got that kind of vibe, and you think about Vegas in its heyday, and you think about, you know, the kind of the Brat Pack and the swankiness of the whole thing, and
that
it's
was
just
the other side of the '60s.
Yeah. It was just very cool. You know, I know that when I look back at that stuff, obviously that was before I even was born, but I think of just the way that things were at that time. It was just had that era of just being really cool to me.
Yeah, just get out the shaker of martinis.
Yeah, and, it was just that's the kind of thing it was.
And the classic class.
And that's what we try to do. You know, when we're out there doing our thing, we want to have fun. And it's slapstick, and in a lot of ways, it's kind of tongue in cheek, and it's a really good time. It's not just, you know, sit back and listen to music. We try to engage the audience. We try to make it fun for everybody.
And Matt's such a great entertainer. I mean, besides the fact that he's just got a great Sinatra voice, he's also able to just work the room like Frank did, and it's just something you can't learn. He's just an amazing entertainer.
Thank you, Pete.
Let's listen to a little bit of this music for a second, if we could go to that, and we'll be quiet for a minute, and they'll bring this up.
Sounds good.
Under my skin, run for cover. Run and hide. I would sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a war.
How do you guys come up with the songs? I mean, there's so many classic Frank Sinatra songs.
yeah.
That's got to be hard. How long is your set?
Oh, well, we've got a couple, we got 2 hours worth of it, but we sat around originally sitting there in my studio, just talk about, well, we got to do this one, and we got to do this one, and oh, I really want to do this one. Well, yeah, but if we do that one, we got to get rid of one of these, and so, so we're just sitting, there's so many great songs, and we're continuing to add all the time.
It's kind of like we chose songs that were going to keep people engaged. We're not going to do, like Frank did some pretty kind of out there stuff. We're not going to do like Where Are the Clowns or something like that. There used to be a ballpark here. I mean, there's some great songs, but we want stuff that keeps the crowd engaged. Right. The Come Fly With Me, the New York, New York, Chicago, the fun stuff that kind of keeps everybody engaged.
The classics.
And I would think that one of the tricky parts is not only picking and choosing, but you have to have it flow.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like any, even when you do rock and roll.
Exactly.
A certain amount of ballads.
You don't want to abruptly change
songs,
something.
No, it's an art. Choosing songs is in its own way an art, and it's like you got to be able to read a crowd, see where they're going, and I just pick the songs on the fly, and people just follow what I do. He's great at that. And so
we make a big list, and then the show bears no resemblance to the list we made.
Like there'll be times when we're in the middle of a Frank Sinatra song, and I go, "This is not working. Let's do some Stevie Wonder or some Tom Jones or something like that."
Oh, really? You'll throw those things in there?
Yeah, Michael
like
Jackson.
Corporate parties or things like that. He gets crazy sometimes. We start off with doing a whole Sinatra show, and by the end of the night, it's morphed into something else. Yeah.
And you just go along with it.
Yeah, but we got all the horn players go along with it too. So.
Well, when you have great musicians, they can just flow right into there, can't they?
And that's for me, with music, it's not linear, it's moving, it's fluid, it's going all over places, and you have to be able to kind of move with the crowd. And reading the crowd is really in my opinion, what makes a great entertainer and a great musician is kind of being able to go all those different places.
When you start the performance, the very first thing, do you come out as Frank Sinatra, or do you come out and say, "Here's who I am"?
We look at it like this. Obviously, Frank was 5'9". I'm 6'2". He was Italian. I'm German. It's like there's not a lot of similarities. I could bring out like a little thing. I say this is a tribute to Frank under the umbrella of Sinatra, but this is basically, I don't know. I never see Frank do that move. It's like one of the things that I say is I grew up. Michael Jackson was like a huge influence in my life. So if you see my Michael Jackson moves, please. It's not something I'm trying to do. The Frank purist might get a little upset.
Do you do Frank doing a moonwalk in his own way?
Yeah. Michael Sinatra.
And you arrange all the music, right?
Yeah, actually. And I'm excited about this. We got our new CD out here, and we're going to have it for the first time available, and we got some great songs on there.
And this will be when you do the performance here on the 29th, that people can go ahead and purchase the CD there, which is great. Last year you didn't have this, did you?
We just released that right before Christmas.
Yeah, because I would think a lot of people would want this, and it's got 14 songs on here, obviously all the classics that people grew up on listening to Frank. a lot of fun. I think that you know, we had such good reviews on this, and the thing is, as you were saying, you can see it here. You have fun with it and take it to where you may want to take it during the performance.
A lot of the musicians in the band came up to me afterwards, and these guys have played all their lives in bands, and they came up to me afterwards and said, this was one of the most fun gigs I have ever done. It was just magical last year.
Well, yeah, we really, I mean, it was for me, it was a moving experience in the sense that I was able, my grandmother was there. She's 92 years old.
Oh, great.
So she was there. My whole family kind of looked out. And it's meaningful to the people here. It's not just kind of like they're going to see a show. It really, it kind of brings up some very...
That's me, yeah.
That's Pete.
Yeah, I can see that.
Brings up some really, you know, deep memories. Because Frank had the ability to really touch people.
Yeah, he did.
On a very deep level. And that's kind of what we hope to do, you know.
Well, very nice. Again, this is Saturday, March 29th at Clubhouse 3 at 7 o'clock. Now, you need to either call or go over to Clubhouse 3. That's where you can get your tickets. And, you know, better hurry because something like this sells out. And we want to just thank our guests, Matt and Pete. This has been wonderful having you on.
Thanks, Ken.
And it looks like a lot of fun out there, and we appreciate you bringing it to the community. Thank you very much. And remember, you'll be able to buy one of their CDs, their 14-track CD, as a matter of fact, at the performance. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good to see you.
And happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll be back.
I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats